What's up, fiends? Alucard here. Today we're going to talk about the new movie from Dario Argento called Dark Glasses. It stars Elenia Pastorelli as Diana and Dario's daughter Aja Argento as Rita. This was the surprise secret screening movie that appeared on Shudder on October the 1st. It officially comes out in the States on October the 13th. So got to see it 2 weeks early. Pretty cool. So Dark Glasses is a return to form for Dario Argento, as his last few films left much to be desired. Here he returns to the genre that made him famous, the giallo film. This movie is about an Italian prostitute named Diana that gets involved in a fatal car crash that renders her blind. Diana then connects with the young boy survivor of the crash, and soon after, the killer stalks them around Italy. So it starts off with Diana driving around during an eclipse. And she gets out of the car and she stares directly at the sun with her sunglasses on. There's a bit of foreshadowing here. Then we see a prostitute get strangled to death as she exits her hotel. It's a fairly gruesome scene. The gorehounds should enjoy this one. Should definitely enjoy this part. At this point, Diana's kind of having a string of bad luck with all her clients as of late. For example, like one guy kind of stinks, so she tells him to go take a bath. Uh, she gets stiffed. She's not having a good time with her clients. So the killer actually starts going after her, which leads to the fatal crash where this Chinese couple end up dying, but their son Chin survives. Diana, of course, also goes blind because of the crash, like I said earlier. We now learn that the killer has killed three other call girls, so there's a pattern here. So then we meet Rita, played by Aja Argento, who teaches Diana, kind of how to live blind. She even brings her a guide dog named Neria. So meanwhile, Diana decides to check in on Chin, the young boy, who has been placed at one of these like foster boy home things, with a bunch of kids. I don't even whatever they call them. So Diana and Chin kind of connect in a weird way, and he ends up helping her because he's like, oh, you're blind, I can help you, blah blah blah. However, the killer is back, trying to complete his failed murder attempt. So the differentiating thing here is that this movie's really not a mystery like most Jolly. You know who the killer is early on. This movie's more about survival and coping. So what did I not like? It is a bit predictable. Like I said, I knew the killer the second I laid eyes on them. Um, and a couple of the performances are kind of phoned in. Not the main characters, luckily. I thought they all did pretty good. So what's good about this film? Honestly, I'm just thrilled that Dario Argento has returned with an entertaining movie. It is long, long, long overdue. My personal opinion is that he hasn't really made a string of good movies probably since the late '80s. Everything else has mostly been pretty awful. Um, the kills here were pretty good, even though they're all pretty much the same type of kill. Um, Now the soundtrack by Arno Rebattini is killer, pun intended. It really it drives the whole time, and it's just it's kind of the synth wavy type thing that kind of goes along with these movies, but it totally works. In fact, from the get go, I was like, oh man, the music here is really good. And it's always fun seeing Aja Argento pop up. She even gets to keep her clothes on this time. For those that get that joke. But here, she's really doing her best imitation of her mother, Daria Nicolodi. It's kind of freaky how much she has kind of turned into Daria, but not in a bad way, not in a bad way at all. So I'm going to give Dark Glasses 3 out of 5 bats. It's a welcome return, even if there's, no new ground covered here. But anyway, so thanks so much for joining me today, and remember to stay spooky. Peace.